Yeah,
I'm high S and I'm higher S and higher C.
Yeah, I figured you were high S.
Yeah, high S. Okay, so let's
Is that
talk a little
common?
bit about this, and we're going to get a little more understanding about all this. So if you guys have your graph out, what we're going to talk about with your DISC, the basis behind all of this, this started way back in Sophocles' age, back in the ancient Greeks. They found out when they looked at people, there's generally 4 kind of categories when you look at personality. And they used to, way back then, call it what? Earth, wind, fire, and air. And you'll hear that in either in Asian medicine, you'll hear it in ancient times. They kind of classified these different types in elemental type of things. Well, over the years, as people have studied it, they've stuck to those 4 same principles, but it's kind of evolved. And back in the 20s, there was someone that took it and said, you know, we're going to put it into a little bit more format, a little more technical, and they named it the DISC, the DISC. And so this has been around since the 20s, the actual DISC. And people use it for all different ways and all different ideas. Behind it is really not about who you are, it's about your preference of how you like to be naturally. So everyone can be anything. We can be chameleons and we can do anything. But what do we naturally do and what is easiest for us? What kind of style or behavior do we lead with in our lives? Because we all know there's certain ways that we can be that is very comfortable to be. And then there's certain ways that we can be not as comfortable, but we can do it if we need to, right? What would be an example of that? What do you have to be that maybe it's not as comfortable, but you can do it?
Outgoing.
Outgoing. So maybe you're not outgoing, but no, I have to do it in certain situations. For me, it's being quiet. Not so great at that. Not so great about being second. Not so great at about being the one who stays and sits quietly while someone else takes the stage. I can do it, and I twitch the entire time. But that's what I can do. So that's the idea, is we can do it, but that we all kind of have certain preferences that we prefer, and that if everything was the same, we would lead with those. In our business world, it's the same. Our customers or our companions or our workmates, our co-workers, our bosses, our families, they are the same way. So have you ever noticed sometimes you don't click with someone? What does that mean? I didn't click with them. We didn't make a connection. What does that mean?
I don't know what it means to me.
What?
Or complete.
Complete.
Completely alike.
Okay, great. Do you have to be alike to click? What do you have to like click? What is it? What is it? Can you even quantify it? Is it just you sort of understood and you kind of liked each other, or you just understood each other and were able to make a connection? Why is it that we don't click? Think about someone you have not clicked with. Why was it?
I didn't like their attitude or something.
Attitude. Excellent. Okay.
Leadership.
Leadership. Maybe you didn't appreciate the way they led you.
They're a little more dominant than I was.
Excellent. Good example, Mr. Vanola. Dominant. They felt too dominant. What else? Maybe they did have a different sense of humor and you didn't appreciate their style. Maybe you wanted more enthusiasm and they were not. Or maybe you were detail-oriented and they were not. And you wanted more information and they didn't want to give it to you. Maybe they were too fast and you wanted to move slower. All of those things, you can feel like you don't make a connection with people because of these things. Doesn't mean you can't get along, but you don't make the connection. So the idea behind understanding these 4 behavioral styles is first to understand ourselves. Because when we understand ourselves, what can we identify in that? If we understand who we are, what are the 2 things we know about ourselves? We know what we're good at and what we're maybe not so good at. And so if we can identify that and recognize that someone else might fill our void, or that we might fill someone else's void, we start to look at each other in different ways. Also, if you can identify somebody else, what they might be good at and what they might not be good at, maybe there's a little more understanding in the interaction. You realize, well, that's not their strong suit, and I'm expecting that of them. But I can see that's not who they are naturally. They're having to adapt a lot to this. So it's hard for them. I need to give them a little slack. And maybe I'm not so hard on them in that aspect. So that's the basis of understanding why this is. Why would that apply in sales, in our business? How would that apply in our business? Why is that important to understand?
Well, then in the business, you've got to be able to communicate with everyone.
Exactly. Is it about them conforming to you? What is it about?
You conforming to them.
Exactly. They've got to choose you. So you're in charge of making the connection. Can you change them? Can you modify their behavior? Can you give them this class before they become your customer so that they can understand you a little better? Or do you just need to understand them? That's the idea. So we need to become the chameleons. We need to know what our strengths are and where our weaknesses are, so when we can look at someone, we can adapt. My hard time of not being in charge, if I get with another high D, I've got to take the back seat if I want them to click with me. Because if I'm trying to push them and they're trying to push me, we're probably not going to enjoy each other's company. But I can't change them. So I need to go, whoop, okay, that's a high D. I'm going to back myself off. I'm going to let them run the show so they feel like I'm listening and they feel like they're in charge and they're going to want to work with me. I don't want to do it, but if I want their business, I need to. Same thing in family, same thing in coworkers. If I want to get along with someone, I can't change them. I have to change if I want this to work. But I understand more because I understand they're not doing it. It's not about me, it's about them.
Well, sometimes can you change them though? Because when you do the mirror matching, they start matching you, and then sometimes you can bring them your way by mirror matching, right?
I love it. So explain more about mirror matching, Greg.
Well, if you're a high D and I see that you're high energy, and so I become high energy, then you start following me, and so then I can. So then, if I get you, like if I'm leaning into you and you start leaning into me, then if I start laying back and kind of relaxing, it stands to reason that I might be able to pull you with me, right? I mean,
totally agree. Once I start to make the connection, I might start to follow. But I won't follow if I don't connect. I might say, oh, I like Greg. Yeah, man, he likes to go like I like to go, and blah, blah. And then he starts to do something, and I'm already going that route. And it's totally correct. If you work on mirroring and matching, especially with clients, they get on your bandwagon, and they don't even realize you start to lead them down the right path because they already made the connection with you. It's totally correct. Totally.
well, see, my mistake always is that I don't always think I need to match them. I try to get them right away, and of course that doesn't work as well. And they walk out of the room going, well, I don't like him because I didn't do it.
Yeah, or they walk out of a room with me and go, oh my word, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted being in a room for 5 minutes with her. But I have to, and it's a struggle for me because and it's a struggle for anybody, because naturally, especially when we're uncomfortable, we go to our natural style because it's easiest. Well, if our natural style is counteractive to their natural style, and we're doing that, we're automatically not going to have a connection. So we have to constantly be aware that we have to watch them and mirror and match their style to make a connection. And it's hard, especially when they're not like you. It's really hard. And to remember that with everything else you're trying to remember and what you're doing. So getting really good at this and getting it integrated makes it easier. So that's why this is kind of one of those things you want to take over and over and kind of consider. You hear us talking a lot in the office about it, because I constantly want people thinking about it. Man, it changes the environment of what you do. When everyone starts to go, oh my word, here comes Jessica. She's going to DS. Just get ready, buckle up, she's coming in to change your world right now. And she's going to throw up all of her ideas on you right now and walk out of the room. But they're all ready. And then they go, okay. And then they go, okay, but she's going to do it. We know it's going to happen. We know she's told us that we don't have to act right now, but she's going to act like we do. And then they start to go, and they understand. And then they go, well, thank you for all of that. Is there anything we need to do right now? No, I just wanted to say it all out loud, and then I'm out the door. And we've had a better interaction. But and then start to understand, okay, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to try to keep calm. I'm going to try to not change the world today. I'm going to try to slow down and listen, which I don't do. And so, but we've started to understand each other. And it works out a lot better. My husband, the same way. My poor blessed husband. I am all this, and he's all this. And so when I'm trying to do all of these things, and I'm so excited, I can't figure out why he's not on board. I can't figure out why he's not excited to change his entire world tomorrow. Well, doesn't that sound exciting? And I'm just like being overwhelmed by me because I'm trying to do that so much. And so I'm trying to be more considerate that it doesn't because he hates me and because he's not, it's because he doesn't want to change as quickly as I want to change. He likes to keep what works. And I like to change it whether it's working or it's not. But that's my personality, and so we both have to give a little bit. So let's kind of walk through this. When you look at your graph, there's the upper left corner is your natural style. The lower right corner is your adaptive style. What that means is natural is if everything was equal, this is how I would naturally want to be. This is what I lead with naturally. Now adaptive means if I need to, I kind of call this work mode. If I need to be in a work mode, I can still survive in adaptive, but I'm more tired. I can do this, but at the end of the day, I'm probably tired because I'm adapting the whole time. Natural is where you want to think about being all the time, because at the end of the day, if all you've done are things that are easy for you, how do you feel at the end of the day? If the whole day was easy?
Good.
Good. Do you feel energized still? Do you feel drained? If the day was easy the whole day? No. If you got to live in your natural style the whole day, at the end of the day, you could do 2 more hours. At the end of the day, when you've been adapted the whole day, how do you feel?
Okay.
Exhausted. Do you feel, I'm done, I need a break, max capacity? That's adaptive. We know that we naturally wouldn't naturally want to be that way, but we had to for whatever circumstances we are. So whenever I tell anybody, when you're hiring someone, when you're changing jobs, if you're looking at the tasks that are involved in the job, if they all fit in what you naturally like to do, what kind of job would that be? If all the tasks you had to do were right fit with your natural style, what kind of a job would it be? Would it be amazing? Would you want to just keep doing it, and would it just energize you? You get excited every day to go to work because your job is easy and you love it. And if you have to go to a job every day that you have to adapt who you are naturally to, how do you feel? Exhausted. Is that a burnout job? Have you been in a burnout job before? Where at a certain point I am burned out, I just can't keep doing this. That's when you aren't living, that you're adapting every day. So consider that in a hiring, in a team situation, in what you do. Am I adapting or am I being natural? Because if I'm not being natural, I need to adjust what I do and the tasks I do to fit more to my natural so I have energy every day and I'm excited. Which means I need to leverage to someone whose natural style does the things that I don't do naturally. Maybe I need to work with an assistant who's opposite of me and fills the void that their natural style loves the tasks that I need done. And then what do they have? An amazing job. They get up every day and they can't wait to go to work. And you're like, I would kill myself if I had to do those tasks all day, every day, and that's all I did. But they love it. That's the beauty of understanding this. So let's run through this. So we focus on our natural style. What we look at first is we always start with the D's. We start with the D's because if we don't capture the D's attention right now, they're done. They won't pay attention to anything else. Because D's listen to the first 3 words.
It doesn't have anything to do with you.
If it doesn't have anything to do with me, I'm done with it. In fact, I'm doing 15 other things at the same time anyway. So you've got to capture a D's attention from the minute they start. The reason is, their question is always what? What are we doing? What's happening? What's going on? What's this about? And you can always tell a D by that style. What's happening? You know how they do that? They're aggressive. D, what's going on? What's happening? What's going? You know, those things, that's how they get. What? Oh, whoops, I forgot to look at this. So that's our D of personality. I'll go through this first. I forgot this part. This left side are our people-driven people. Our right side is our task-driven people. That's the most important thing to them. People and task. The top half, these are our fast movers, our fast talkers, our fast decision makers, our fast changers. Go, 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 go. The bottom are our slow, decisive movers, our think before our act people. These guys check the parachute before they jump. These guys jump and hope that somebody checked it for them. They're just excited to jump. Happy to go. I'll figure it out along the way. Then you've got your upper corner. So when you look at your upper corner, these are fast, task-oriented people. Their key emotion is quick to judge, quick decisions, quick judgment calls. Go. Tell me your problem. I got an answer. Go. You. Tell me what you want. I'm going to fix it right now. You tell me what you want. I'm going to fix it right now. Go, go, go. They don't care whether they hurt your feelings. They are people-driven. They want to fix the task and move on. And that's why they're quick to judge. If you want a decision made, a D will make it for you. They don't really think about the consequences. They don't have any stats to back up their decision. They go off intelligence and experience. If they don't know, you don't know that they don't know, because they fluff their feathers up, and they stand tall, and they think, oh yeah? Well, that is right. I'm right. I'm right. I'm right. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. And they're hoping you don't have anything to back it up because they don't. So they're fluffing their feathers and using intimidation. You'll see that every once in a while from me, if you haven't noticed. I may not have any idea what I'm talking about, but you don't know that. And you're going to have to prove that I don't know what I'm talking about. That's my high D. I'm motivated by challenge. Tell me I'm wrong. Let's go, toe to toe. I'm ready. I don't have any idea what we're fighting about, but I'm ready to fight. Because I want the challenge. And I want the bottom line. I want to win every time. I don't even care what I win. I just want to win. That's why my family, who is full of D's, is blood sport when it comes to Monopoly. There is fights, there is blood, and there's gore. And we love it. And at the end, we're all friends. Because we don't have any people skills. It's all about winning. And for us, that's all that matters because we're task-oriented. Our mantra is, I will do it. Give me the ball, coach. I'll win the game. How? I don't know. I just will. It's the way we do it. My fear is being taken advantage of. Don't take advantage of me. And don't waste my time. That's a D. And you know those type of people. If you talk too long, they're not listening anymore. If you didn't catch them in the first 3 words, you're wasting their time. And they move on. That's a D. Get to the bottom line. Think about buyers and sellers. When they walk in the house, what's the first question? What is the first question they ask? How much? If it's not the right price, what do they want to do? Out the door. In fact, they may not even get out of the car. The bottom line is the challenge. But they want to know, are there more offers on that house? Yeah, there's 3. Well, let's bid. Do you like it? I don't know. We're going to lose this house. You haven't even looked inside yet. All they know is someone else is challenging them, and they're ready to fight. You know those people that if you tell them there's multiple offers, they get all bristled up? What? What? That's the idea. So maybe when you have a dean, you might mention that there might be some multiple offers. You know, this is a hot property. There might be multiple offers. All of a sudden, they're ready to make an offer because you've gone to their natural style, the challenge. Their keywords are direct and dominant. D's can be offensive. They're very direct. And I forgot to bring this handout. I'm sorry, you guys. I'll email this handout to you. They're direct and they're dominant. They're going to tell you exactly what they're thinking and use as little words as possible and look you right in the eye and intimidate you to get their way. That's what we do. But they're not doing it because of you. That's how they are. For me, I want someone to do that to me. I want you to look me in the eye and tell me in the least amount of words what you need. That's what I want. And I'm not offended if you don't care about my feelings. Because I don't have any feelings. I'm task-oriented. This isn't about me, it's about winning. And sometimes there has to be blood. And that's okay. If it's mine, that's great, as long as I win. That kind of an idea. Now, if we move across the top to our other fast-oriented people, we get to our high I's. And these are our influencers. These are our askers of who's going to be there. Well, who's involved? Well, who's going to do that? And well, who can I do? And all that. And you know, and guess what they start to do? It's all about who. And these are the cheerleaders. These are the people that as they move through, they are motivated by recognition and flattery. They love to be on the stage. And not only that, they look great doing it. They have cute shoes, their hair is done, they wear flashy shirts. They love the recognition. But guess what? It's not about necessarily them. Your D's like your recognition because we want to be recognized for what we did in the win. These guys love to interact. They love the interaction of the recognition. They love the people cheering, and they love everybody doing it together. That's why they like that. Am I right, Ryan?
Oh, yes.
I don't really care why you're cheering for me. Let's just cheer together! Hooray! That's the high I. They'll dress nice, they'll dress cute, because they want someone to comment. They go out thinking, what are people going to think about this? And for them, it's not really about ego. These guys are a little bit about ego. These guys are a lot about talking and with people and interaction with people. Their mantra is, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. I don't have any idea what you're doing, but you can do it. I know you can. I don't know why we're here in this classroom, but I'm just having a great time. They're the ones that participate all the time. And you know they have no idea what they're talking about, but they participate. You'll notice I'm a high DI. That's how I roll. Their fear is rejection. They don't like to be rejected. They don't like you not to like them. They'll do anything for you to like them. Even if they don't like you, they want you to like them. They don't like to be rejected. They hate it when a customer chooses another real estate agent. They didn't want that customer. They know that is going to be a nightmare. But they wanted him to choose them, and they wanted to reject. They don't want to be rejected. Am I agreeing, right? There's something about it that cuts you to the soul. I want every customer to want to work with me. And again, you might mistake it for ego, but it's not. It's because they're people-driven. They wanted customer service. They want the people to love them. And not about them, but about the people and the interaction. So identify those people in your customers. What do they look at when they go in a house?
Decorations.
What is it?
The decorations.
The decorations. And they look at the pictures. And they look about who lives there. And they talk about how their family would be there. And they talk about their emotions and how it feels. Because that's what they're driven by, which is feels good in here. Well, it's got mold. I don't care. It looks good. It feels good. You know, I could paint that wall and I could do that. It's got mold. I don't know. And that's not what they're considering. Because they feel it. And they think about their family there. So if you've got a high I that you're showing, you want to talk about the feeling of the house and talk about their family there and activities in the house and how would it go. And that's going to tie them to the house. A lot of times, I's and D's are married to each other because the I is the fun and the D is the hammer. It's just kind of the way it works sometimes. But D's get a little irritated with I's because you can't keep them to win. I's don't care about winning. They care about the travel. You know, it's the journey, not the end result. It's the people that are with them on the journey, not whether you win or not. So D's can get a little irritated with the I's on that aspect. Their keywords are effusive, effervescent, bubbly. Now you can have I's that are not effervescent and bubbly. And I'll tell you what, you get an I who is a downer, and what do we call those guys? Drama queens. It's all drama. And they tell everybody about their drama, and they want you involved in their drama. And everyone involved in their, you know those people, where the drama is encompassing of anybody in a 15-foot radius of them? That's a high I. They want everyone in whatever it is that they're going through. It's a good way to kind of tell them. It's all about who, and they talk about the people all the time. These guys talk about the task. Moving down the side of the people, you move to your S's. These are your steady stability factors. Their key question is, why are we doing this? Why? You'll notice my high I left as soon as his was done. He's done talking about him. He's gone. It's all right. My high DI. He's like, oh, they talked about me. I'm out of here. So these guys, this is the cog. This is 65% of the population. These guys like consistency. And they like to understand why we do everything. They want to understand the whole picture before they begin. Got a lot of S's in here? How many S's do we have? Tell me about all of it, because I don't want just the first two parts. I want to hear it all so I can understand how it all works together. I want it to work together. Now, when they want it to work together, it's not because they want to win. It's because they want the people to receive everything that they need to receive. They're very motivated by everybody getting what they need. These are excellent assistants. But their biggest fear is change. And the reason they hate change, Sean's chuckling about change, the reason they hate change is because they're motivated by benefit. Is it really going to give us what we want it to give us? Why are we changing it if it's not broken? What we want is delivered right here. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and you have what you need. If we don't have what we need, how can I go and get these people this if I don't know if it's going to deliver? So I don't like change. You have to really get me through that, right, Sean? It's all right. Work me through it. Tell me why we're changing it. Now, as soon as they understand how it's going to work and that it is going to work and they feel like it is, they're on board 100% and they will change. But you have to let them work through it, and you have to give them time to internalize the change, to get okay with the benefit at the end. Their mantra is, now that I understand, I'll do it. You feel like that sometimes, Sean? Now that I understand, I'll do it. Do you ask a lot of questions?
Or change.
Yeah. If you'll,
Just
will
like
you
coming to
change
here.
if you understand why and the benefit of it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if it's going to work, you bet. But we need to know it's going to work. We don't just whippity wow, just try it out and see how it goes. No, that's what these guys do. Let's just work it out along the way. Ess's like, oh, no. We're going to pack the parachute. In fact, we're probably going to check it twice. I'm going to check the plane. I'm going to ask the pilot how many years of experience he has. And we're going to know, because I'm not jumping out of this airplane until I understand that this is going to work. But as soon as I feel confident, let's go. And then they go. So these guys are an excellent balance to each other. These guys don't love to move quickly because they like to be decisive and they like to know what they're doing is going to get them the result they want. So they move a little slower, but they plan. These guys just want to run as fast as they can run. Well, when you balance these two together, D's push the S's to change and to move. S's hold the D's back to think it through. So they're a great complement to each other, and they fight constantly. But the difference with S's is, who do you think the S's are? Are they always the leaders? They're not. They're generally second in command. Because they like to be the cog that makes it all work. They don't like to be on stage. They don't want the flattery. They don't want to wear the sparkly outfit in front of everybody and dance around and, oh, look at me, look at me. That's not usually their style. Now, if they have some eye, they might be okay with it. But generally, S's like to be behind the scenes, making it all work, making it all kind of the dark night. But they're needed because they really think it all through. They generally hide their emotions. I always warn, if you hire an S, be careful. They're going to quit and you're not going to know why. Because they've never told you they're unhappy. They've kept it to themselves, and they've gone home, and they've smiled all day and cried all night at home. They hide their emotions. You have to pull the real emotion out of an S. Because they don't invest in something unless they know it's safe. They don't invest their emotions in you unless they know you're going to protect what they're about to give you. They don't show it to everybody. So you have to be these guys are a lot about trust. A lot about trust. Because they don't give out, they'll do everything on the surface. And they'll be friendly, and they'll deliver, and they're wonderful. But they don't let you way inside to the real stuff unless they really trust. But they'll continually ask, why is that important? Why are we doing this? Why should we do this? Why is because they want to understand so they can deliver for the people. Their keywords are steady, stable, and good listeners. Excellent listeners, S's are. Wonderful about the buyer's consultation. The drawback is after they understand what you want, they want so bad to deliver, it may take them 3 weeks to find the house that they want to show you. But it's going to be perfect when you walk in. They'll know exactly what you're looking for. And they'll only have to show one house. It may take them 3 weeks to find it, but they'll show one house because it will be everything that you wanted it to be. So they move slowly because of that. That's why a D likes to push them a little bit. Let's go a little bit quicker. Now, along the same bottom line, we move away from the people orientation, and we get back to the task, and we move into our C's. Our C's are our compliance officers. These are the ones where everything they want to know is how that's right. It's right and wrong. It's black and white. How is that right? Prove to me why that is correct. Because if you can't prove to me that it's correct and I don't agree with you, yeah, we're not going down that route. These are your engineers. These are your attorneys. These are your accountants. They love everything to line up exactly correct. They want all the columns to meet and be correct. Am I right, Mike?
We're just listening to some certain things you're talking about.
Mike, what are you?
I'm an SC.
An SC. High S and then C. But you have I above 50?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little above 50?
Yeah, it's 52 or something.
Yeah. So you'll notice Mike is super friendly because he's high S. And then he also has some high I. But I'll tell you what, there's high C in there.
When you're going through the S stuff, some of that I relate with and some of it I don't. I'm impatient. And I don't think I'm the best listener.
I think you're a great listener.
I think I'm good, but I don't think I'm as good as I have other people listen.
You know what? We're going to tie it together. At the end, I'm going to talk about how all of them, when they work together, how it balances. And we'll talk about that. That's perfect. Okay, so our high C's. Their fear is criticism. Why do you think C's that are right and wrong people hate criticism? Because they know they're right. They don't think they're right. They know it. And when you ask them why, they have all the backup. They have researched it. They'll get out their spreadsheets, all their backup, all the websites, their bibliographies. They've got it all. They aren't just right. They know why they're right. And so it's very hard to suggest anything to a C. Let me see. Well, wouldn't you think? How did maybe this would help what you're doing a little bit? Yeah. Don't you think I thought of that? Don't you think I've thought through that process already? Because I know, because D's love to make suggestions on how to improve everything. Because that's what they do. They're fixers. C's are all roll their eyes. Whatever. You have no idea what you're talking about. I can tear your idea apart in 3 seconds because I have all the backup. So I say criticism they have a hard on, but a lot of even suggestion feels like criticism to a C. So if you get a C who's looking at a house, what do they want to know about a house? If they're all about details and perfection. Exactly. They're checking every little thing to see if it's right. They also check your numbers. They read your contract word for word, and they know what it says. And at the end, they go back and they take a look at that final HUD, and they match it up with what you gave them initially. They want to know it matches and everything works out. And if you suggest other things, they feel like it's criticism. This is my husband, the out of C. I make suggestions all day long. I have great ideas every day, all day long. Great ideas. And he thinks I'm cutting him every day. You're so critical of me. And I said, what do you mean? I think you have great ideas. Every idea you cut to the ground. I don't cut to the ground. I just throw my ideas in with it. And he feels criticized. Because didn't I see how perfect that plan was? Can I just recognize the perfection of what he created? Heavens no, I want to make it bigger, better, faster, and I want to win. So he doesn't understand for me. He thinks I'm criticizing. For me, I just think we're making it better. Just thinking of new ideas. So I watch that because I have to be careful not to make too many suggestions. Because I don't really care if he changes it or not. I just want to throw my ideas out there. So I have to keep it under control because he feels criticized. Their mantra is, I will do it right no matter how long it takes. These are the ones that will continually send you back to make it more perfect. Try it again. We take as long as we need to until it's right. So they move a little slower. They're motivated by correctness. They love correctness. They love all the lines to be perfect, all the things to match up correctly. Their key emotion is fear and risk aversion. They want to avoid the risk. You can do things and look at everything before and know it and avoid the risk. And so when I say there's fear, they have fear of being wrong. They hate it. And if you call them on it, you'll never be friends with that C again. They do not like to be called on the carpet. They don't like anyone to see their incorrectness. So in that aspect, you'll find Angie. Bless her heart. Angie has a lot of C. She loves to be right. In fact, she won't bring anything to me until she's checked it 15 times. Because she doesn't want me to see if there's anything incorrect. And she's mortified if she has a spelling error. I'm like, what's the big deal? I'm spelling errors every day of my life, but I don't care. I send out emails that don't make any sense whatsoever, and I don't care. They're just doing it to go fast. But that's her thing, is I want it to be right, and I want everyone to see that it's right. Because I give it to someone, it has to be right. And it eats at her. And I know that it does, so I try to relax a little bit about it and let her, take a little more time if that's what she'd like, because that's her thing. And it's not a big deal, but that's her thing. And it's not about others, it's about herself. So it's interesting. So you'll notice hers are always beautiful. Everything she does is beautiful, because it's perfect every time. Their keywords are compliant, accurate, and detail-oriented. These C's, I tell you what, I always tell a D and a C, if they go up against each other in a fight, I tell D always brings a fork to the gun show, to the gunfight with the C. C is ready, everything's ready to go, and a D's out there just waving his fork around, hoping to scare the C off out of the way. C normally knows how dumb they are, and so they usually roll their eyes and walk away because it's a waste of their time. They know they're going to win, and D is a waste of the time. D wants everyone to see the win, and the C doesn't care. They know they're right, and they can live with that because that's inside. All goes. So does that make sense? So now let's talk a little bit about how they combine. So when we look at our charts, anything above a 50 is a high whatever. That means it's a dominant behavior. It's a prominent way you like to assert yourself. So if you have a combination of those, They come together, and one may lead and one may follow, but they affect each other in a different way. I'm a high DI. I'm a 99D, and I'm an 81I. I love to wear sparkly things. I love to be in front of everybody. I love to talk loud. I'm not embarrassed easily, but I love to win. So what happens is normally D are not very people-oriented because they'll trample the people along the way. But my I allows me to modify and enjoy people. But I'll tell you what, I am just fine to be all by myself. Just fine. And everybody thinks I love people. Oh, no, no. I am a hermit on the weekends. Because I have to live in this world all week long. And it's fine, but this is my dominant factor. But when I get up in front of people, I'm confident, I'm vocal, I'm loud, I try to be funny, I try to interact, because that's my I. But in reality, when I get serious and when I really scare people is when my D comes out. And I look you right in the eye and I tell you what's going on. And if I don't remember my I don't make a lot of connections with people. Because naturally, I just want you to understand and to win, and I want to say the least amount of words to get there. But I have to move it around. I'm a 99 and an 81. I'm a 12 in S. I don't plan. I don't think it through. But I'm a 41 on C. I like it to look beautiful. I love things to line up. My cereal boxes are all in line. My closet is color coordinated. I like it to look perfect. So that's where my C comes in. I'm not an 89 C, but that little bit of C helps me because I want it to look beautiful. I want it to look right. Okay, so tell me what combination. Where are we at? So Mike.
I pulled mine up. I'm a
S?
S is 77, my C is 77, my I is 53, and my D is 35.
Perfect. So he is a high S, C, I. Now when you have high S, C, and I, all above 50, you act like a D. Why do you think that is? If you think about all of these things put together, why would they seem like a D? Do you think they can get in front of people and talk and be assertive? They can move quickly. They're confident because they know all the research. They make plans and they can execute them because they believe in what they're doing is correct. They are good. They're people, so people like them and they're interactive. They deliver and they want it to be right. It can look like a D. Yeah. So how do you think they tell the difference between an SCI and a D?
Tell us.
Do you think the D has any idea how their vision is going to be accomplished? Not really. That's why they have good assistants. These guys have it all planned. So ask for details. D's will give you very broad strokes, big wide ideas. SCIs can walk you through the entire plan to execution and how everyone's going to be taken care of along the way. So that's how you can always tell between the two. Ask for details and ask for motivation. Are they motivated by winning in the task or are they motivated by the people? And that's how you tell. Okay, so what else have we got? Jason, what are you? On your natural, what are your two highest? Or what do you have above 50?
I and C.
Oh, I and C.
S, I'm above 50.
So your I is what?
I, 81.
81, and your C?
77.
Excellent. So this is interesting. For a long time, I didn't get a lot of interaction with ICs until the last probably 5 or 6 months. And now I see what it is. Somebody else in our office that's an IC is Stephanie Murdoch. Stephanie Murdoch wins every contest that we do. Everyone. She won the Halloween office decorating contest. She wins every food contest. She does everything. Because she loves it to be beautiful, and she loves it to be perfect. So her details are immaculate. And they're shiny and beautiful and wonderful, and she loves people. So your C, you lead with C. You lead with I and you lead with C. So in that, you know you're correct, but you're willing to take the time and bring people with you into your correctness. Your wife is the same way.
She's the same.
Wonderful teachers. Wonderful listing agents. Because they'll walk you through all of the reasons why this is the price for the house. And they'll be patient in letting you work it out, but they'll continue to bring you to the correctness. Because they're people driven. But they're also, they don't satisfy, they're not going to go be okay with it's not right. It needs to be right, but I'll bring you along. Let me help you along. Wonderful people. If there's C first and then I, you generally get that beautiful perfection. They want that I, that prettiness, that flash, that interaction of the flattering, but it has to be perfect. Has to be perfect. So their spreadsheets have colors. Their spreadsheets are, all outlined, it's beautiful. That's an IC. You love a spreadsheet that looks nice? You like it to look nice? Mm-hmm. Does it drive you crazy if they don't match? Mm-hmm. You'll notice his outfits, all very matchy-matchy. You're not wearing brown pants and black shoes, are you? Your belt probably matches your shoes all the time. Of course. That's how ICs work. Eyes just like a lot of colors. Lots of colors, it doesn't really matter. It's all about the crazier the better. ICs are perfection. Perfectly lined up. Excellent in the military. Okay, what else have we got? There you go. Sean, what have you got? You're natural.
88 on S, 67 on I, and 53 on C.
There we go. A great leader, not afraid to lead, but also probably not afraid to follow, as long as they're going to deliver. You okay with that? Excellent. A planner, loves people. Do you love people? You have the interaction with people?
Oh,
Yeah. Sales, love sales. Love to get out there, shake hands with his babies. Aha, as long as the purpose is correct. There it is. He's giggling. His wife knows. Okay, what else do we have? Kathy.
I'm 88 in S, and I was looking, I can't remember my exact numbers. It says I'm a high C, and I don't see that. And then the 60s in I.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty low in
Do you think, was it a really high C?
It was set fairly high C. I want to say like 80 C, but I don't like spreadsheets. I'd rather.
But you may not be a numbers-driven person. But I imagine, did you like to decorate your house?
Yeah.
Do you like it to be all correct and
I
aesthetic?
do, and I like my cabinets to be cleared off. It's like, everybody get your stuff off.
Perfectionist.
Perfectionist?
I like
Yep. I can see with her, I can see I in you, but I also see C. Because you're not too flamboyant, but you're very well polished. And when you speak, you're polished.
I like I, but I would rather not be on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
I like.
But you're probably a very
I
well-dressed
like
audience member.
to shake
Yeah.
everybody's hands and be part. And I do think my daughter rolls her eyes because I like to be the cheerleader. Oh, come on, she's really quiet. Come on, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Make your goals for the summer. But
Do you like to help her make her goals?
yes,
Yes.
I'd like
You like
make
to
her
create
goals
a plan?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So that's good to know because I am not a spreadsheet, not a
Mhm.
numbers. My husband is very much a C,
Mm-hmm.
and he's very much in numbers.
Very detail-oriented.
Yeah, but
You'll see a lot of this. If you have a DC,
my son is a D and a C.
yes. A DC's, do you think are really well-liked? Just sound it out. DC. That's generally how it comes across. Work it out. It's almost there, Sean. There it is. This is I call them the don't cares. Because not only are they right and they're going to tell you about it, they know it. And there are not people driven in any way. They want to win and they want to trample you while they do it. And then they want to tell you why you lost and explain to you why your strategy was the worst. Because they know, they could see it. Great chess players. Fearless, sharks. These are our sharks. Because not only do they act right, they are right. I hate them. That's probably the smartest of the group. Jerry Keller is a DC. Not so great with people. But man, his strategies and his concepts are beautiful. And they're right, and he loves the data, and he loves to research it. And he loves to put a plan together and tell you to do it, and call you an idiot if you don't. Yeah. Ben Kinney, did anybody go to Ben Kinney? Got a little DC in him too. You're stupid if you don't do this. Because that's how they feel. And they don't care that your feelings because they want you to win. They want you to succeed. They are going to succeed. And they just think that if you're concerned about anything else, you're a dummy.
Do what I tell you, you'll win.
That's the type of thing. And if you're not, you're stupid. Get out of my, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Get out. Don't waste my time. That's how they are. You don't like them, and yet you want to be them. Ooh, you hate them and you want to beat them, and you just want to be like them and you hate them at the same time. That's your DC. Your IS are the people, people, people. Best buyer's agents, best customer service people, your I and your S. They're people driven. And if they have enough S, they can stay on task. I's, all I, they're not great task people. Because they don't care. As long as everyone's taken care of and having fun, they're happy. That's the most important thing. These guys want them to get where they're supposed to go, so they kind of dance you along the path and let you dance around and have fun, and they keep you on the path going forward. I's, they don't even know if there's a path there. They're dancing around now, but they're the spirit of everything. Okay, so can you guys see how this can apply in your business? If you start to identify it, everybody say, how do I start to identify all this? Watch for the questions. Watch for the questions they ask. And listen to what they're asking about and get to the bottom of it and start adapting. If you've talked to a guy on a phone and he's on the phone and off the phone in 3 minutes and he told you the 4 houses he wants to see and what time to be there, you better come ready with all the details, bullet points, and go. Because he's probably going to come in for a what? What's the price? What's this house? Okay, move on. We've seen it. Doesn't matter. What if the price? Is it the right price? Is it the right neighborhood? Done. Sold. Press these guys to sign the contract. Press them. They like challenge. And they don't want to waste any more time. If they believe you're going to do it, they'll sign. Because they're done.
Sad listing last night.
Yes, and they think everyone gets a little intimidated, so they kind of back off. But a D wants you to come back at them. And they want confidence in you because they really don't want to deal with any details. So press them. Let's do this today. I'm going to take care of you. Just know it's going to work. All right. Done.
What if you're working with a couple and one's high D and one's high S? I mean, do you just kind of try to modify it as you speak to each one? Kind of
And go with the D first. Get their 2 things they want answered out of the way. Because they're stopping to listen after that. And then spend the rest of the time coaxing the wife to love the house. But the D wants to move on. So be wary of that. Speak first with the dominant person, but address their issues really quickly, and then get to the other one. But also watch what they do. If they speak to their wife first, out of respect, you need to go to that. You need to understand their personality is this is the important person, because I'm showing that to you, the mirror match. I'm showing you that I go to her first. What do you think, honey? Every time. If the wife does that, go to the husband first if she's deferring first to him. Or vice versa. He always says, well, honey, what do you think? Take a look around. He's probably realized she needs to love this because he doesn't care. Sell to her. She's the decision maker. He just wants to sign the friggin' contract and get out of there. She's going to have to love the house. So you watch for that. Mirror and match. Yeah. Because they're going to tell you how they are. But you've got to be watching for it.
But don't you think most people that are looking at homes, the men really don't care?
No. Are you kidding? My husband is the one that cares.
I mean, most of the ones I've ever been with, make sure the wife likes it because
because she's living there. Just be careful.
I'm just going to be sitting in a recliner and watching.
But be
TV.
careful, because if the wife is the D, it may seem like that, but the wife is in and out, and she's going to make the decision quick. Like me, I'm going to be in and out. My husband is going to ask all the questions. So even though I'm going to want to like the house, he's got to feel good about it, and they're going to go home and talk. They may not talk in front of you, because remember, an S is going to hide their feelings. You may not have any idea with an S. They're just going to continually ask questions. Continually ask questions. And you have to convince them. And they're going to go back to the same house over and over and over again.
Well, once they do those things, that's way to tell that you found the right one.
Yes. And you just now need to push them over the top because now they know, they think this is the right one, but they're just
scared
to change. And, I just don't know. So then pull out all the hot buttons. Yep. Why do you like this? And then keep hammering why you like it and sell them on why they love it. Yep. That S, that's how you do it. And you know it because they go back to the same house. And they go back to the same house. And they go between 2 houses, these 2 and these 2 and these 2. You need to push them to the one that they have told you is the right one. Yep. And the C, just bring the stats. Bring the resale value. Bring the all of the taxes. Bring all the what the numbers are. Bring all those things so they can see the details and the accuracy. And then for the I's, sell the feelings. Tell how it feels. Is this similar to another house that they loved? Why did they love this house? Point out the things about that that's similar to why they loved that previous house.
I don't know what my numbers are, but I think I'm a SCI or ISC, one of those three.
He always has some pretty cute clothes on. So I imagine there's a lot of I in there. His shoes, you can always tell the shoes. I love shoes. You know. So I imagine that's right. But you're pretty quiet. You're a listener.
Yeah.
You're a listener and you like to kind of feel it out before you invest. You'll notice because he was on his computer up until about halfway through. So that shows me, all right, I'm willing to listen. This seems like it's going to be well. That's always my C's. They sit like this through most of the class. I don't know if this is going to be right. It sounds like a bunch of wahoo, mickety muck. And then by the end, they start to invest for, okay, I think this might be right. Same thing happens in your house searching when they do the buyer's consultation. You do the listing appointment. Watch for those things. Okay, but watch for the combo. Don't get messed up by the combo. Watch for the dominant. And try it out. Start to give them some hows. And do they respond positively? Do you give them the whys? Ask more questions. If they start to go, oh, you know, you start to lose them, okay, I got to stop asking so many background questions. I can't ask them to death. I got to D it up. Or I got to I it up. And start to watch for those things. Okay, any questions? Go get them. If you guys want, I'm going to have you sign in to my binder, and I'll send you a little 4-page packet on understanding the DISC. It'll have this in it, as well as the 4 different categories and explaining what they are, and then also communication styles on all 4.
Where do you go to take this then?
Go to, on the, hold on, I'm going to get this. If you go to Tony Robbins, if you Google Tony Robbins DISC, it pulls it up. Just take the free one. And then you'll get, on the Tony Robbins, you'll get both your DISC and your values. We just talked about the DISC. And just remember, it's going to ask you to sign in and everything. And it says it's going to email it to you, but I warn you, it doesn't email it to you. Save it to your computer when it's up or print it. Because for some reason,